Since the launch of Englishnization in 2010, to raise the English level of its employees, Rakuten has asked them to achieve a TOEIC score of 800. Since then, the average TOEIC score has increased by more than 280 points to 814. In 2015, 81% of newly hired engineers hailed from outside of Japan, representing 45 different nationalities. How do people in the Rakuten group feel about Englishnization?
Many people are still wondering how come that I work in Japan while I can't speak Japanese. The answer is so simple. I work for Rakuten.
Since 80% of my members are non-Japanese, so we are able to create a universally accepted services platform. This is a big change for me. I found out that most of our systems were belonging to implicit knowledge. Therefore, we are now creating more documents for instructions.
Personally, having one common language has enabled my team to collaborate with global Rakuten teams on a much deeper level. This collaboration distinguishes us from our competition and has played a key role in our success.
I had a chance to work in the US. In there, I shared some of the best practices from my consulting and campaign experience from Japan. I had difficulty catching what they were saying. Sometimes I asked them to write down their thoughts and question on the sheet. I strongly realized that I have to study much more.
Rakuten events are now held in English. Here are some examples of these events and the benefits that holding them in English has brought. The Rakuten Mobile Summit is an arena to showcase new smartphone applications of the Rakuten Group. Over 30 cutting-edge applications from all over the world were announced internally. Through Englishnization, it has become possible to share knowledge more easily throughout the company.
After the summit, I see that we have really tons of interesting businesses, interesting ideas, and really cool applications. So I've got a lot of ideas from those applications, and I think if we all work together, we can create like a world-first kind of product that only Rakuten can do.
The Executive Officers Camp is held in Japan, where around 100 Rakuten executives from around the world meet with the objective of setting KPIs for sustainable growth. Through Englishnization, leaders from a variety of different nationalities and backgrounds were able to come together for effective, high-level discussions.
What was most helpful for me is the group that I was in had lots of different kinds of companies. In the course of going through this week, we found lots of different places where we found we could collaborate together that we hadn't thought about before.
The latter part of the executive camp saw executives working together to climb a mountain. As they climbed, they shared words of encouragement and support. Even here, Englishnization helped create a strong team that acknowledges and accepts the differences in cultures and values. Lastly, Kevin Johnson, CEO of Ebates, which joined the Rakuten Group in 2014, shares his thoughts on Englishnization.
I actually first got to know the executives at Rakuten a couple years ago when CEO Mikitani first made the decision to go through the Englishnization process. And I went to a big party where a lot of the Rakuten executives came from Japan to meet us. And I have to admit, at the time, I thought it was bold, bordering on crazy, given how bad the English was of many of the executive team. And now, for the past year, I've been working with Rakuten, going to Japan every couple months, and actually never even think about it. Believe it or not, I go to Japan, work with Rakuten fully in English, no translation ever in any meetings, and it's completely effective. So it was a bold decision, but it's paid huge dividends. Thanks.
With English as our official language, the Rakuten Group continues to expand outside of Japan. Ebates' gross merchant sales exceeded 50% year-on-year and continues to grow. Our acquisition of Viber has significantly increased membership into our ecosystem, and we are looking forward to future synergies. This year we opened Rakuten Crimson House West, our America's regional headquarters. Our employees have the chance to work not only in Japan, but all over the world.